This video will show how to upload data measured on genetic lines in the context of a study or an experiment into the system. Here is the example file, where the first column provides the name of the line, and the second is the plot. The other columns represent traits measured on these lines. To do the upload, I go to Uploads, Study. Here I select the file and click Load. Now the file is displayed for review. Then click Next, and the columns classifier window appears. On the left, we are presented with column names that were taken from the file. Then we need to classify the columns into two groups: factors that represent independent variables such as line and plot names, and variates that are the measured traits. So here I select line name and plot and put them into the factors field, and all the others in the variates field. Then click Next. This brings us to the workbook page. Here we have two tabs. The first provides a description about the study and all variables in it. The Observations tab shows the actual data. In the Description tab, we need to provide the study's name and possibly title, objective, and dates. Let's give it a name. And title. Then click on Save. The next action is to classify columns into traits. The factor and variate tables show the columns that were classified in the previous step to these groups. Here the first column provides the name, and then we have property, which is a trait, then scale, method, and data type. I can click on Search Trait to let the system automatically search for matching traits according to resemblance between the column and trait names. Now I can see that some variables that match trait names have been classified, while others were not. To make a new classification, or to change an existing one, I click on the Variables button. In the pop-up window, I can select one of the sections. Let's take variates, and all appropriate column names appear. Once I select a name, its classification, which consists of property, scale, method, and data type, appears on the right. For this variable, there is no classification. To classify it, I need to select the property from the traits list. This is the list of traits that I uploaded to the system previously. The scale method and data type are filled in automatically. If I'm not sure what the trait is, I can search for it. Below appears possible matches, and I select the appropriate one. Once I'm done classifying all variables, I click Save, and the new classifications appear in the appropriate table. Finally, I click on Check Workbook to see if there are any errors. Here I have several errors, and I have to correct them before I can finalize the upload. Errors are indicated by orange cells. Note that only rows with errors are now displayed. This error is because no such line name appears in the database. I can click on the cell and search for the correct line name in the pop-up window. I select it and it is changed in the cell. The next error is because the cell doesn't match any of the possible trait values, as can be seen in the error message. Indeed, if I click on the variable icon, I can see that the possible values are 1 to 5. So 7 is not one of them. To correct this, I can change the cell's value. The next error again is because the value is out of range. Indeed, this trait takes values from 1 to 6. If I'm not sure about the correct value, I can just delete it. The last error is because the value is not numeric. Let's just correct it. Finally, I can save the workbook. Then repeat the error checking. Now that there are no errors, I can click Commit. And the process is completed. To view the newly uploaded study in the system, I go to Browse and Study. Here it is. I can drag it into a folder if I want to. Then I can go to the Observations tab to view the data.